Welcome to another night in the NBA. This is your 10-minute recap of the last night of NBA hoops. And usually we'd have one team or one player that I want to talk about as the main topic, but today I want to change it up a little bit, and I just want to shout out all the really impressive young players that showed out today, because the NBA is being taken over by these young guys, and of course there are the young stars. Luka Doncic had 40, Anthony Edwards had 37, Trae Young had 35 and 10, but those aren't really the guys I want to shout out. I'm going to focus on guys that are sort of taking a jump, blossoming into stars, or just some young guys that really impress that maybe you aren't quite as aware of. But the league is in a better place talent-wise than I would say it's almost ever been from top to bottom, and it's going to continue to be because the young talent is so impressive, and there are a bunch of crazy stat lines from today, and I just wanted to look at those. After we talk about some individual young guys that played well, we'll get to scores, we'll talk about who won and who lost, and then as always we'll do the top 5 segment at the end. But I want to start off with the young guys, and you have to start off with Keegan Murray, the second-year forward for the Sacramento Kings. Many people might know that he made the most threes for a season as a rookie ever. Like, he has that record for NBA history, and threes was his theme tonight as well, because Keegan Murray finishes tonight's game with 47 points masterclass, as well as 8 rebounds, in the impressive part, 12 made threes. One of the best shooting nights in NBA history. The record is 14, owned by Klay Thompson, but the list of players who have reached 12 is very, very small, and he did it super efficiently as well. 12 of 15, which is 80%, I believe, from three-point range, which is insane. Those are just crazy numbers, and Keegan Murray, after that great Summer League performance, continues to show that he can be a superstar in this league. Keegan is the huge X factor for this Kings team, because they already have 2 All-NBA level guys in De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, but if they can take that to the next level with a star in Keegan Murray, the Kings are going to be legit, and they could win a title in the somewhat near future. Then after Keegan and his 12 threes, I want to move us to Chet Holmgren, because he did have a double-double, but he was one stat shy of a triple-double, and we'll get to that in a second. But Chet, again, should be Rookie of the Year, I think he's been the most impressive, the most efficient. Wemby's been really good. It's going to be up for debate, but Chet has been a near all-star level impact guy in his first season in the league. 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 blocks. 9 blocks is insane. It's the most blocks in a game by any player this season, done by a rookie in Chet Holmgren. You know, since Hassan Whiteside was out here putting up double-digit blocks on nights, we haven't really seen players do it. It doesn't really happen all that often, but Chet Holmgren gets one shy with 9 blocks, and just a dominant defensive outing for him in an upset win over the Nuggets in Denver. They take down the Nuggets. A lot of that has to do with the defensive impact of Chet Holmgren, as well as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another young star who played really well, but he's not the focus. But we'll move now to Cam Thomas, who had struggled a little bit with efficiency after coming back from injury, but the efficiency was not an issue tonight, as in the Nets' close, narrow loss to the Golden State Warriors, Cam Thomas finishes with 41 points, looking like himself again. He drops 40 all the time. He is a pure scorer, one of the best scorers in the league today. 41 points, 5 rebounds, and 62.5% from the field for Cam Thomas. He was an absolute bucket today. No one on the Warriors could stop him, and he was feasting on the defensive matchups, whether it was Steph or Pods or Klay Thompson. No problem for Cam Thomas. He was giving all of them buckets, and is one of the scorers to watch in the league as it moves forward. Anfernee Simons as well, recently back from an injury, and outside of kind of a dud game in the one before this one, Anfernee Simons has been phenomenal since coming back, and he continues that tonight with 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. A lot of people talked about Scoot and Shaedon Sharpe as the future backcourt of this team. Anfernee Simons is the best guard on this team. He's an all-star level guard right now, and he's still younger than 25. Anfernee Simons has superstar guard potential, is the future of this Trailblazers team, and deserves a lot more respect than he was getting this summer, because this dude is awesome. Damian Lillard light is almost an understatement. He is a Damian Lillard type mold of player and doing a very fantastic job at emulating what Dame had done for them over the past decade. And then we can talk about the Bulls duo of young players, because since Zach LaVine went out, Coby White has been balling, but it wasn't just Coby in their game today, it was also Patrick Williams, as they get 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists from P. Will, and then they get 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists from Coby White. Their two young guys balled out today despite the loss to the Heat on a Jimmy Butler game winner, but the young duo in Chicago all of a sudden looks really promising, and the Bulls have went from a team with a really bleak future to one that's not as bad as some other teams. Honestly, the Bulls' future looks much more promising because Coby White looks like a star guard, and Patrick Williams is finally bringing some more offense on top of his already very good defense. Another young Brooklyn net, Nick Claxton, solid game today, 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Impressive stat line for the young big. No problem with Kevon Looney. That's not going to stop Nick Claxton. I was a big advocate for the all-star push for Claxton last year, and I think he was a lot closer than people thought, because with Kevin Durant out, it was Kyrie and Nick Claxton, and Clax was a legitimate Defensive Player of the Year candidate last year. And he's an elite defensive player, elite rim protector, and an improving offensive player, good rebounder. Claxton is going to be a very good big in this league. Then we'll move into a couple of rookies. Brandin Podziemski with 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in the Warriors win. He's deserved minutes all season. He's finally getting them with Draymond Green being out. Both he and Kuminga have been elevated to the starting lineup, and Podziemski has been great. Pods is a very big player for the Warriors moving forward, and they found a gem in the middle of the first round as he just does everything. Pods is a reliable shooter, a good passer, an okay defender, and a pretty solid scorer already. He is a real candidacy to being Steph Curry's best teammate so far this season. Then we can move to Jaime Jaquez Jr. with Miami, the real Triple J as some people would say, although Jaren Jackson's been dominant this year. But Jaquez with 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Really impressive outing, just continues to be a solid presence. Has probably been the third best rookie this season so far. And then the last young impressive guy I wanted to talk about is a surprising one, as it's James Wiseman, who despite the Pistons being awful, he's been solid, especially over the last few games. Monty Williams has decided, let's give him a chance. Duran's been out with injury as well, so that obviously plays a factor, but they have been losing, so Monty is going to continue to try stuff out, and James Wiseman has been rewarded with some minutes, and he's doing well in them. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 78% from the field. Really, really good outing for James Wiseman, who also had a pretty solid game in his last one, but again, Wiseman looked productive last season when he got to Detroit and is continuing that now with some minutes with Cade and the guys there in Detroit. The team is awful, but there are still some bright spots to be found. And now we can get into some results from the day. 10 games on the night. The Bucks beat the Pistons by 30, give the Pistons their 23rd straight loss. The Sixers beat the Hornets by 53 in what is easily the biggest win of the day, a blowout, massive victory for Philadelphia, as Embiid and Maxey continue to look like the best duo in the league. The Cavs take down the Hawks at home. No Garland, no Mobley for the foreseeable future, but Mitchell and Jared Allen held it down, and they take down Atlanta. The Heat beat the Bulls 118-116 on a Jimmy Butler game winner. The Timberwolves take down the Pacers in a game that was close early on, but the Timberwolves pull away in the second half and win by 18. Anthony Edwards very very good, as was Karl-Anthony Towns, who had 40. The Warriors beat the Nets 124-120. The Nets came storming back in the fourth quarter, but the Warriors just barely held them off and pull out the victory thanks to a pretty solid Steph Curry stretch in the fourth. The Thunder take down the Nuggets on a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander game winner, 118-117, to continue to prove they are a legitimate team in the Western Conference. The Mavs take down the Trailblazers 131-120 behind 40 points from Luka Doncic. Continues to be great since giving birth. He didn't give birth, obviously, but since having a child, he's been awesome. Has been nearly unstoppable in the month of December. The Kings beat the Jazz 125-104, and that is because of that Keegan Murray masterclass makes it an easy victory for the Kings. It was basically over after 3 quarters, and in the last game of the night, the Clippers beat the Knicks by 22 points to pick up their 7th straight victory. But now, as I always want to do, let's get into the last segment of the night, which is the top 5 players according to the Real Sports app. I always want to do this just to kind of showcase who the great performers were, what great games came on any given night of NBA basketball, and you might have already heard about a couple of them from me, but now let's just get into them at number 1, which is Keegan Murray with 47 points, 12 threes, and 70% from the field. Karl-Anthony Towns at 2 with 40 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. Joel Embiid comes in at 3 with 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 78% from the field. Might actually go back-to-back MVP. Luka Doncic at 4 with 40 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. And then it is Anthony Edwards rounding out the top 5 with 37 points, 4 assists, and 7 made threes of his own. But that'll do it for this night in the NBA. Another night in the NBA. Thanks for watching. Think about subscribing. I'm on the road to 12,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy the daily recaps, think about sticking around and watching some more of them. But that'll be it for me. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks again for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.